You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All In Autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Now. It's 7 a.m. It's 7 a.m. Time for the opening drive.
Voted the best sports show in New Mexico.
For 5 years running. It's the OD and the AM with Jeff Symbieta and JJ Bob.
Got a little bit too familiar last night. The scene you saw on Thursday Night Football. No, not necessarily the Bills beating the Dolphins. I know a lot of you thought that was going the other way. I think the Bills made a statement last night. But seeing Tua Tagovailoa on the field and concussed, and the human piece comes out again. Boy, do we got a lot to do on Friday the 13th. I don't know about y'all, but I mean already this morning it's kind of Friday the 13th. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck, how you living?
What'd it do?
Everything all right back there this morning? Any little things?
It's all right so far.
I mean,
so far so good.
Accident on the freeway coming in. I opened the freezer to get my breakfast. Everything fell out. Running just one of those. Like, maybe it's good that procedure I was going to have on Friday the 13th got postponed. You know what I'm saying? Maybe that was a bad idea to start. Ton to do today. Obviously, with everything that's going on today. We got a lot to talk about in regards to Mountain West Conference and Pac 6-pack, 2-pack, Pac 12, whatever. Yes. David Williams, the interim athletic director at the University of New Mexico, is scheduled to be with us at 8 o'clock this morning. So what is UNM doing? How did we get here? How did we get to a point where UNM got left out? Now what? What are the priorities? JJ, I've had this conversation with a number of people. Is your priority to get into the Pac-12, Pac, whatever it is? Is your priority to make sure that the rest of your league is formidable, solid, sturdy, viable, stable? Or is the priority to find a landing spot for UNM somewhere else? What's the ideal scenario? And I think the key word there is probably stability, and I don't know what that even means in today's world. You know, the obvious thing is, well, the Pac must be great. They left for that. Is there going to be a lot more money? I don't know, man. I mean, there'll be some more money, most likely, in that conference's television deal than there is in the one in which you currently live. But how much more? And if you've got to pay your exit fee, which is, what, $17 million, is it worth it? Or is it worth trying to keep your league together? And then, you know, can you? And who can you trust? I know you had a million conversations on this yesterday. Where'd you end up landing? What's the priority? Is it to try to get into that league where all those people just left you? And they did. I mean, I hate being this blunt, but now you're calling them and saying, hey, so I know you just left me, but we want in, and here, what do we have? What are we bringing to the table? Are we bringing our own buyout? Are we taking less money? Are we like? And by the way, yeah, we'll make football better and we'll fix our stadium and our facilities and our program.
That's a lot of what ifs.
100%.
When you're coming to the table, if you're the University of New Mexico, you want to be on that list because they're going to add, and there's not a clear path of who the 7th and 8th members of the Pac-12 are going to be. There's a lot of talk. Everyone just assumed that Cal and Stanford would back out. That's not the case.
Yeah,
at all.
I don't know if they
From
can.
reading more of that, even if they could, it doesn't sound like they would want.
Well, there's
to.
less money there. There's going to be less money there than there is in the ACC.
And it was already stuff they scoffed at being associated with
Boise
those
State,
institutions. Yeah. So you run down the list, and then the Pac, as we've all discussed, picking off options. Well, you still try to position yourself in that conversation because there's a buzz and a feeling that those are the winners and all this, that those schools are winning, and you are on the outside looking in and potentially on your deathbed. So how do you do it?
Well, perception's reality.
You somehow, some way, cobble together concepts of a plan and see what you got.
Yeah. All right, we got a lot to do. 505-246-0610. That's how to get here. 505-246-0610. Emails Jeff at sportsanimalabq.com and JJ at sportsanimalabq.com. We'll have a sweet deal for you. We got Nick Nee at 8:30 from Sandia Golf and David Williams, the interim athletic director at the University of New Mexico. And just a lot to sift through. And I know you've talked to people about it. I know you've read. And look, it depends who you talk to. This is what was the most concerning thing to the majority of Lobo-related people. And I say Lobo-related, whether they're fans or they're just people in Albuquerque. JJ, you read and I read and most people read all kinds of stuff. And everybody with a thumb has an opinion, okay? And so be careful what you're listening to, believing, agreeing, digesting on Twitter, right? Is that a fair preface?
Yes, and it is also something I was thinking about is the divide that this could just widen because
between
the Lobo fan base, because there's so many people looking at it and saying this is football's fault.
Well,
and then we've already had that battle, and it's going to just turn more people off Lobo athletics because they feel that their football team once again has hurt their basketball program.
The commitment or lack thereof to football has certainly got you in this position. Let me go back to where I was going. Then I want to address that. Everything you read on the internet, take it with a grain of salt, right? It's you and your buddy and your buddy's buddy and your buddy's uncle and your buddy's uncle's aunt, right? Everybody's with thumbs is poking stuff out on the Twitter. But what concerns so many Lobo fans that I talk to is I heard we, and the collective we was New Mexico Lobos, were not even mentioned. They're talking about who is going to be the other 2 to 4 to 6 teams. And you saw everything from Rice to Tulane to Memphis to UTSA to North Texas, Texas State to North Dakota State and Montana, and almost never saw New Mexico mentioned in there. And I think that really, but now again, that's not the people making the decisions. That's people with thumbs that this is what they want. And then there were a few that said, put in New Mexico and Nevada, right? And so everybody's got their bias. I think that's one of the things that when I talked to a lot of people yesterday, it was, we're not even mentioned. Somebody said, why are we here? What if soccer was our number one sport? Well, okay, but there's no money there. You are in this position because the football program over the last 2 decades has been what it's been. The attendance has been what it's been, and it's caught up to you. The facility is what it is. This is about football. And as much as you love Lobo basketball, and Lobo basketball is what you think it is, and it's exciting, and it's wonderful, and the pit is great. This is now you're going to say, what the hell what's Colorado State done? What have they done? Well, they showed the commitment by building a new stadium, by paying. They got the resources. They got the highest paid coach in the league. They've made the commitment, and they've been, for the most part, outside the last couple of years, competitive. That's what they've done.
How much do markets play into it? Because you can point to investment and success at other places that were left out. Wyoming.
Yep.
I'm sure Utah State want to throw their hat in the ring.
A little bit. It matters a little bit. And that when you say market, that's why there's so much interest in Texas, because it's Texas. It's recruiting. It's where the players are. So market matters. Yeah, no, that plays a part. Look, I'm not telling you that. Well, I am telling you, if you've been winning or compete for league championships, I think you'd be in this conversation. It's a good market. It's a good television market. It's easy to get to. It's geographically desirable when you start looking where the league is. This is what you've been in football. Art, good morning. Get us started. You're on the Sports Animal. Thanks for holding. Hello, Art.
Good morning, Jeff. I was thinking about yesterday when I was listening to you and JJ and so forth, and I can give everybody credit who has done their job and deserves to get a little bit extra bank. My question is, do you think, not Mr. Nunez himself, but do you think there was probably some idea that he may have had, or even the regional president here at UNM, that, hey, stuff is getting ready to bust, and I want to go to where, besides getting pay raise, I want to go to where I know this school has potential to go wherever they want to go because of where they're at.
Art, so yeah, and I've heard that question a lot. Let me tell you, Eddie left. Eddie had been applying for jobs. There were a number of jobs, and the timing on this, I get the way it looks. I don't think he just bailed because the ship was sinking. If he didn't get the Houston job, he'd probably be up for the Northwestern job, and we'll probably be still here. I think the timing on it, that's when Houston decided to hire, and that's the job he got. Like you can go down the list, and there were a number of jobs over the last 3 to 4 years that his name was associated with. This just happened to be the job and the timing. Now, did he see it coming? I think we all saw the possibility. Hell, I mean, you could read that with Braille, right? I mean, we all knew this was a possibility. But is that the reason Eddie left when he left? To me, I don't believe that. The reason Eddie left when Eddie left is because that's when the job offer came, right? I mean, Houston, he didn't work with Houston to time that thing out. That's just when it happened to come and when he happened to get his opportunity.
Okay, let me ask you this, brother.
Yeah.
Do you think with his networking that if he was to just kind of put like not reference, but like a recommendation letter for UNM, because I'm really surprised. But we all knew these other schools were doing backdoor like nobody's business. But
yep.
Do you think the Mountain West commissioner, why wasn't she or he, but it's a lady now,
right?
But why weren't they under Peaceke's not really, hey, we need to put our nose in here right now, not 3 years, 4 years. We know it's going to happen. We need to sell like we're the best thing since sliced bread.
You can sell it all you want. I think
UNM can be with football. I think Mendenhall is going to do a great job. But
yep.
I mean, I would be kissing somebody's backside up and say, hey, man, we'll get the money because there's money out here that will support that program.
So, and Art, no, it's a great. Let me address this and thank you for the call. Get us started. Have a great weekend, Art. Appreciate you. So, I think Gloria has done a really good job with this. Gloria Nevares, the commissioner of the league, you're like, how could she done a great job? The league just splintered. You guys, those 4 teams, and there's more, have been looking to get out for a while. And, I've heard, well, if Eddie was here, would this have happened? Yeah, with all due respect. As much as, I've been hearing for the last however long, well, Garnett Stokes, the president at UNM, is the president of the board of the conference, and they're not going to leave without New Mexico. And Eddie's super respected. And look, if Eddie was here, this wouldn't have happened. Yeah, do you think if Eddie was here, you'd have been on that text chain with San Diego State and Fresno State and Boise State and Colorado State? You wouldn't have been. But
I think what happened is people were doing their jobs. People were trying.
Mm-hmm.
And you still got left behind with a bunch of other schools. Like the narrative that the Lobos didn't do enough, or people in administration didn't do enough, are now you have to, magically have this awesome plan in place. Like it wasn't there before. Like, no, the schools that are not in the pack right now got sent a strong message by the Pac-12 and those 4 Mountain West schools that were left. And they were just not sitting on there. They weren't just sitting there twiddling their thumbs.
Which 4? Who was it?
The ones that got left behind.
No, look, everybody thought they were doing the right thing. And this is what I've been telling you for I don't know how long, man. While you're sitting at a table and you're supposed to trust the guy next to you, he's on a back channel, you're trying to get out. And every one of these schools, JJ, every one of them, if they had the opportunity, Nevada, Hawaii, Utah State, New Mexico, Wyoming, San Diego, and pick one. Who wasn't going? They all wanted to be in. They all think they should be in. We'll continue this on the other side. 505-246-0610. And Art said something else I want to jump on as well. Hey, gather your friends and family. Mark your calendars for all the upcoming events and make your events at the Albuquerque Convention Center. From trade shows to performing arts to concerts to holiday parties, be at the center of it all and host your event at the Albuquerque Convention Center. 30 meeting rooms, 3 ballrooms, 4 exhibit halls, an auditorium, and in every room there's a spot for you, your guests, and your events. That's why the Isleta New Mexico Bowl hosts an event there every single year. We take our players there, have a big dinner and a big event. Why? Because it's the center of it all. They take care of our guests. The food and beverage options are exquisite. Their staff are experts. They go above and beyond to make your event something everybody wants to be at and will be glad they were there. Parking adjacent, easy access, and right in the middle of downtown Albuquerque. As you're booking your holiday parties and all your events coming up this fall, make sure you get a hold of the Albuquerque Convention Center. They got a space for any celebration you can plan. The phone number is 505-768-4575, area code 505-768-4575, or you can look at them online, albuquerquecc.com.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Seriously? You expect me to drive while you aren't wearing seatbelts?
What's the worst that can happen?
Seriously? Buckle up.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. Our law firm was founded by my father, Thibaut J. Chavez, with one goal: to get New Mexicans the help they need. That's why we built a different kind of law firm. We focus on family values, dedicated service, and we make a real contribution by giving back to our communities. We can't change what happened to you or your loved ones, but we can help you get back on the road to recovery. We're by your side, and we're still as local as red and green.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired outsider posing with borrowed gloves. I grew up here. New Mexico is in my blood. I'm a New Mexican fighting for other New Mexicans. I'm Adam Oki. I'll be your champion in the courtroom.
We've been trained, conditioned, and rewarded for doing more. But people weren't designed for all that doing. Our bodies need to settle into nothing from time to time.
So what's going on with the Mountain West? What do they do? That's what everybody's asking. And what do you do? So our Art just called, and the number's 505-246-0610. You can get in. And, it was kind of, asking about relationships. And did you get out of his call kind of, did Eddie leave getting out ahead of the policy?
A lot of people are asking that question.
And I think you got to, did he see it coming? I think we all saw the possibility of this coming. Now, did he call Houston and have them open up a job for him? Right. I mean, the timing happened to be what the timing was. It's horribly ironic, I guess, for some of you. But Eddie's been looking at jobs for how many, the last 3 years, 4 years, or maybe since the day he got here? I mean, his name has been associated with jobs constantly, right? This just happened to be the one that hit, and it hit 3 weeks before this happened. So did he fly because of this? No, if he didn't get that job, he'd have been here, right?
Most likely.
I mean, unless he was up for the Northwestern job at the same time. No, I don't think that, the timing is interesting. And we're going to talk with interim athletic director Dave Williams, who's been the deputy AD with Eddie for all these years. That's coming to be at 8 o'clock this morning. No, I don't think that's why he left. He left because he went to a place that paid him, what was his salary? About $1 million a year now. And yeah, is it more stable? And it's a move up in the industry. So look, I understand that. How did we get here is interesting, though. That's a question that I was asked, 15, 20 times yesterday. I thought that Eddie and Garnett Stokes had us, as Lobo fan kept saying to me, positioned to be in a better spot. Well, if somebody said to me yesterday, and I'm not telling you this is necessarily the situation, do you feel UNM got duped in this? With Garnett being the president of the board and Eddie, having a voice, and because we asked him, JJ. I mean, he was on the show relatively recently, but we've asked him this, and I know I asked him straight up. I said, Eddie, how do you make Lobo fan who's nervous feel better about the realistic possibility that you're going to get left behind? That the quote unquote top of this league is going to go to the pack, and you get left behind. And he said, no, I understand that. And he said, we're positioned, and I've had conversations, and we're united, and right. He gave us all those unity answered, and we're positioned, and obviously, I mean, not. Do you feel duped after all that?
I think the Mountain West feels duped.
Okay.
I think that there's athletic directors, administrators that felt they were in a pretty strong position, and it's almost like they let Oregon State and Washington State come in, and then they were able to survey the entire house and then come back after everyone went to bed and take what they wanted. Like, I don't, as frustrating as it is, and if you were a school on the side where you get to fly that Pac-12 logo, you're loving it. And you think you won. And when you're on the other side, it hurts, but I don't, like, there's the long-term investment in football, which we have discussed, we'll continue to discuss. But I can't sit here and just immediately say all these schools weren't trying anything. It's just the reality of they don't think you're good enough, and it hurts.
Yeah, anytime you get left behind and not selected, it hurts. And this is, did Fresno State, Boise State, San Diego State, Colorado State band together? They did. They had to get invited by Washington State and Oregon State. So obviously there was a conversation with those two schools and Teresa Gould, the commissioner. Somebody said this to me yesterday. You tell me if you think this is right. And it was someone in relation to UNM, but to your point, you can say it's everybody else in the room who thought they'd be in that group. if you walk into a room and you can't point out the sucker, you're the sucker. Right? I don't know. Do you feel that happened? The UNM?
Yes. But I can't sit here and just blame UNM individually. Like, this is, you're feeling that same way in Laramie and
in Reno and in Honolulu.
And now the battle, I think so many people forget Hawaii's a part of this when we talk
Logan,
about Mountain West, because it's just football only.
Yeah, but look, if you I can read you some of the stuff coming out of there too now.
The Nevada stuff is interesting because it reminds me a lot of Cal and USC. Yeah. I think there's a reason UNLV.
Cal and UCLA.
Yes, excuse me. Is everyone is surprised because they are very tied together with Reno and.
Yeah, the word is the reason that if you're not familiar with what JJ's saying is why UNLV wasn't included, because I think everybody was surprised, is that because the state legislature and the system, that the state legislature was not going to approve UNLV going over without Reno, without the University of Nevada. And what we're hearing is the PAC was like, yeah, we really don't want Reno. Now, do they get that worked out at some point? You know, the UCLA Cal thing, when UCLA went to the Big Ten, if you recall, the regents of the University of California system, led by the governor, Gavin Newsom, right? They didn't want to allow UCLA to go without taking Cal. And now UCLA is paying Cal every year. They call it Calimony. And is it like $16 million, $18 million, something crazy like that UCLA, from the money they're getting from the Big Ten, is paying Cal every year, like Calimony. And so there's that to deal with. How'd you get here in this fair? I think you guys need to start going and looking forward. Where do you want to go? What do you want to do now? What is your priority? And we'll talk to David Williams about this at 8 o'clock, the interim athletic director. I know he was on the phone. I heard yesterday that Commissioner Gould of the Pac-12, I saw someone on the Twitter, and again, everybody with thumbs has Twitter, but this was one of the reporters, whether it was Dellinger or Dennis Dodd or Brett McMurphy, one of the guys you respect a little bit. I saw where it said she had received calls from at least 18 schools. I'd like to believe New Mexico was one of them, right? And I know David was in his office and he was on the phone all day, and would talk to David about, with whom he spoke. I know he spoke to some current athletic directors in the Mountain West, as well as some of those who were leaving. I know, but
yeah, this is, everyone was saying just that. You have to make a statement. You have to be aggressive. What you have to hope for is they strike out on everyone else. Because what makes you think that the Pac-12 is picking up that phone and going, oh, now New Mexico, you're interested? Awesome. Let's
we
have
didn't
this
even know.
conversation.
Yeah, we didn't know.
Like,
all right,
now it's going to matter?
So when we come back, I'm gonna present a scenario to you. I don't know if this even works. I don't know how you even do it. But for New Mexico to go to the Pac-12 and say, hey, I know you left me behind, but I want in, and here's what, because now it's, what do you bring to the table? Give you that next. It's the opening drive. David Williams at 8 o'clock on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Get ready for the 2024 Music Fiesta, Saturday, October 12th at Balloon Fiesta with
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
We've been trained, conditioned, and rewarded for doing more. But people weren't designed for all that doing. Our bodies need to settle into nothing from time to time. Into nothing at all. In a world obsessed with doing more, we invite you to undo.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
Got shots? Got shots? Got shots?
During Got Shots, participating providers open their doors for any child who presents for immunizations, regardless of whether they are a patient or whether they have insurance.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
Turbo Threads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sports shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. Turbo Threads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for Turbo Threads.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
12, Oregon State, Washington State had that $250-ish million war chest that was left over when everybody else defected, all the money that was left behind. With that money, they are going to pay the exit fees and the poaching fees. I've seen numbers anywhere between $111 million and $130 million to the Mountain West. Okay, so let's work with the smaller side. Let's just call it about $115 million. Okay, so there's still a lot of money left there. I think if you're New Mexico and I don't know where you're getting the money, say, hey, here's what we're going to do. We want in. We bring you this TV market. We are going to pay our own exit fee, $17 million. I don't know where you're getting that, by the way. You know, that would be one of those, hey, you're going legislature, I guess, and saying how important is saving UNM's athletic program at that level. We commit to doing this, and this, meaning our budget will be at a level that makes us competitive. We are going to make improvements to our football facility, and we are going to be better in football. And we've already hired the coach to do it, and this is our commitment. And if we don't, then you guys bounce us here in 3 years, 5 years, whatever the number is. I don't even know if that would get you in, but I was having a conversation with someone last night. Like, you need to bring something to the table if you think you're getting it. And even then, I think they may have just told you, and may have. I mean, I don't. You know, as much as you're trying last ditch, you want to grab an anchor and drag along that ship. I think the more reality is how you keeping your league together. Where are you going to land?
You want to have those plans in place. If you somehow, some way, become next in line, ... if there's a miss. But I don't think the Pac-12 is going to miss all that much. I think there's a lot of momentum. A lot of people, excited fan bases, believe that is a step up and would be excited if their institutions would go. And it was evident by you saying that there's 18 schools
that reached out to the. That's what I saw in the Twitter. I don't know how good.
And you know that's true. And there's more than that. Yeah. It just is. There's still a draw to that brand. There's still an allure that, you get out of Conference USA, you get out of the American, get out of the Mountain West, obviously, then an increase.
And it's not going to be a power conference.
It's not going to be a power conference, but an increase of 5-10% of television revenue of your budget matters. And you're all chasing the money. And this is also one of the frustrating things is you have to have money to perform. I get it. But also, at what point is what do any of these universities want to be? What do any of these student athletes want? Because they all act like they want some professional model, and yet they never use any of that. There's no governing body. There's no togetherness. So they want to pretend like they're this biggest thing ever, and yet still do whatever they want constantly.
Okay.
You don't have an NFL team just like, you know what, I want to be in a different division.
It's true.
No, it's I know the model, this or that, but they're going to kill college athletics.
We're on the way. Yeah, I've been telling you that for years.
And no one cares. You're chasing money because you have to. You need to do what you need to do to survive. But when does it stop? It's never going to stop. And there's no one in a position to be able to talk with all these conferences because the conferences have the power.
Yeah, well, and the top conferences have the power. And the money has the power, and the television, what are they going to pay? Yeah, I saw the numbers, projected numbers. Television revenue for whatever the Pac-12 is going to look like, it's like about $10 million per team. And, I think, what are you getting, 5 or 6 right now in the Mountain West? So, yeah, to your point, it's more money. What they're saying is they're not saddled, and I don't know how many times I heard this yesterday, it's not saddled with the bottom of the Mountain West.
The amount of people, and it's, I get it, you won. But people that have nothing to do with success and acting like we don't have to go to Laramie.
Yeah, we don't have to go to Albuquerque.
Yeah, have to go to Albuquerque. All right, and Boise State's a paradise.
You're gonna love Pullman.
Freaking Idaho in November is a paradise. No, it's not. Get over yourself.
Enjoy Pullman in January. Yeah,
I'd be victory lap too. But the way they're talking, it's like, man, we
escaped. Yeah, we landed on this beautiful island. I know.
Yeah, I know it's comfortable when you're in Idaho. Pullman, Corvallis, that's your area. They're not resort paradises.
No, I get it. Text line. This is from Mike, a U.S. Navy recruiter. This is what the Mountain West Conference needs to do. And they changed the name of the conference to Sky Mountain Conference, Vice Mountain West. Sky, Wyoming Air Force, North Dakota State, South Dakota, Montana State, the Mountain, New Mexico, Idaho, Utah State, UNLV, New Mexico State, Nevada, San Jose State, and Hawaii. It's from Mike. So that's a 16-team mega league that's basically merging what's left with the Big Sky. I don't know all those schools that they want to go FBS. I don't know that you want all of them. I think that's huge. I don't know that there's enough money to go around to make anybody happy in something like that. I mean, I see what you're thinking. I don't hate it. I just don't know that works money-wise. This one's from John. It says, bad morning, Jeff, JJ. Yeah, it must be Friday the 13th. First, I discovered that the rear tire on my mountain bike was totally flat. Then minutes later, I was placing the coffee pot back under the coffee maker to keep it nice and hot, and the handle on it broke into 2 pieces. WT letter. Wow, should I just go back to my bed and sleep all day or what? Yeah, it's a good idea. I almost did. Yeah, I don't hate that idea. All right, 505-246-0610. Maurice says, Eduardo, Jeff, Ryan Behrman was being groomed to be the next AD. No way he would have bailed when Eduardo was on his way out. They both must have known this was. Come on, man. First of all, I think everybody knew this was a possibility. Okay. I don't think Ryan Behrman was being groomed as much as you think he was to be the next AD. I don't know that he's ready to be the AD. And by the way, Ryan Behrman's going, probably from everything I hear, to apply for the job. So he still has as much opportunity to be the next AD as he did when he was sitting down the hall. I don't know that Ryan Behrman was a good dude. Jalen Dominguez. I mean, there's a million names that are being thrown out there. I get all the conspiracy theories. They bailed. They knew this was coming. And okay. Or the job was offered and there's uncertainty and they took the job that was the next step at the time when it was offered. Nothing can be what it looks like. I understand. All right. You can keep them coming on this. We're going to talk with David Williams coming up at 8 o'clock, the interim athletic director at the University of New Mexico, and we'll get his thoughts on where you're going next. I think that's the most important part of it, how we got here, and what are the priorities? What are we doing? Because I think there's an urgency to this as well, right? There's no, we can research it all we want. People are moving, man. Things are happening yesterday, today, right now. That happened at a pretty quick pace. And I mean, everything you've seen you didn't even hear a rumor of this one, right? This just bounced on Friday night or Wednesday night and it was done.
Like the Yahoo Sports story came out and the next morning there was a release.
It was done. Yeah.
Now I do have something else I want to throw out there after this break.
All right. You want to tease it?
Is, everyone's talking FCS teams coming up.
Yeah.
Do you just pivot and go all in on the hardwood?
All right. I want to hear what that looks like. It's the opening drive. Hey, IPS watches my home. IPS watches retail outlets, businesses, stores. Why are stores and people like me and maybe you hiring IPS? Because they keep the bad guys away. Because property crime is a reality in our country and certainly in our city. And IPS works to protect what you've worked so hard to build. That's why I've used IPS for years. They come by my house at least once a day. I see them every day, whether in person or on the security cameras. When I go out of town, they're by multiple times, checking everything, making sure it's okay. If your alarm goes off, they're there within 5 to 7 minutes. Police will take hours, if not days, to get there. There's just not enough of them. They'll pull the garbage cans to the curb and back, pick up newspapers, mails, packages that are left on the porch so the bad guys don't get them. Give your home that lived-in look. They protect what you've worked so hard to build and protect your family. International Protective Service provides standing guards. If you need eyes on your property around the clock, they'll install alarms, camera systems. They've got a state-of-the-art facility to monitor those cameras 24/7. It raises the level of security around your home or business. Don't let the bad guys win, and don't wait until you're a victim. Call IPS. Protect what's important to you. 505-897-2420. 505-897-2420. They're online at ipsglobal.com. International Protective Service, making Albuquerque and Santa Fe better and safer places to live and work.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman!
Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated,
Rip,
plastered, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
Oh, yeah, I remember those days. Yeah. Lobo Elbow says, can we talk something other than the Pac-8? We have a big game at Auburn tomorrow. New golf season started yesterday, etc. Yeah, give me a take. You look, man, I've been doing this long enough. You know, as much as program directors hate the way I do it, if you want to talk about something, I'll let you go, usually. Yeah.
It's kind of the biggest athletic story, even with a game tomorrow. Right?
Period. Yeah. You all right, so you got an idea.
Well, it's not my idea by itself, but trying to consume all the reports. Ran down a lot of FCS rabbit holes yesterday.
Yep.
And the reporting that's going on with the Dakotas and Montanas and how they're monitoring it, but I don't think that they're excited about that financial leap it would take to become an FBS.
Well, it's going to be an investment
for
from
the
them.
entire department. And then people wondering, yes, I get football stirs to drink. What would one of the contingency plans, if you're the Mountain West Conference, be? Just figure out stability, like the word you said, with football. And do you start looking at, St. Mary's, Gonzaga, LMU, Grand Canyon, Cal Baptist, UVU, some UC schools?
What makes you think they want to go to you?
You make the phone call.
Okay, I'm fine with that. I don't hate that. So basically, getting viable in football, which means you do have to add at least one. If you stay together as you're currently constructed, you have to add at least. Well, no. You're good in football. You're good in football. You have 8, and you're saying for all other sports, just Gonzaga, St. Mary's,
because your basketball brand took a big hit.
A huge hit, man. I don't have a problem with that.
Now,
at all.
would that interest the top school like Gonzaga? No, but
I think Gonzaga and St. Mary's end up in the pack.
Yeah. If they're going to do something like that with their just Olympic sports,
I mean that's just where I'm sitting today.
But if they do that, then maybe look at some of those West Coast.
Let me ask you this: if you're thinking that, and I don't know that they'd want to do this, would any of the big West schools interest you to get into the LA market? Does Long Beach State or Pepperdine's in the West Coast Conference, but does Long Beach State or UC Irvine do anything for you?
Yes. I think, all of these plans are worth talking about and have to be considered, because to just assume that you're going to have a good football brand or footprint right now, no. But how do you continue to try to put a multi-bid basketball league together?
Chad, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Thanks for holding. What's up, Chad?
Hey, guys. Good morning. Casey, you bring up some really kind of branching out to some really good options and ideas here. Just kind of piggybacking off what you said about FCS teams. If you talk to anybody from those areas up in Montana, a coworker, he wants nothing to do with joining FBS football. I mean, they love their community of football. They love being in the hunt for the national title every year. And obviously the expense and all the renovations they'd have to do to move up to FBS would be very costly to them. And would would you still be talking about them going for a national championship in FBS every year like you do in FCS? Probably not. The other thing is, looking at New Mexico football, if you're going from that standpoint, which all those schools tend to be judged, that's the target for schools are judged. We're not. I mean, I like Bronco Mendenhall. I can see what he's bringing to the team this year, the attitude. But when you look at our resume over the last 25 years, it's not really impressive to anybody from the outside looking in.
That's why you work. That's why you're in the position you're in, right? That's why you're in the position you're in.
Right. Exactly. We're going to be the last dog to the bull, unfortunately, in that sense. I do like, JJ brought up a good. I look back. So basketball being the kind of the target. When you look at that, in some ways, I mean, we do have a very strong program. We have, great guys leading it right now. If you look at other comparable kind of scenarios, when you look at like the St. John's and the Georgetowns, they're not. They're football. They're basketball
Does that mean dropping football? Are you suggesting to drop football? Is what you're saying?
You know what? I think if it doesn't work with Bronco Mendenhall, I don't know if it's ever going to work. I mean, it's just the way things are shipping right now. Any good players that come out of New Mexico this year are going to leave for other schools that are going to be offering them more money. We're not big enough. So all of our good players that he brings in after the first year are often going to be coached by other schools. It's just going to be that's the way it's going to be going forward until there's any changes made.
No, Chad, I've heard
I don't know that it's a winning argument to say we should even be in the football.
We'll have the conversation. Yeah, we're at the top of the hour. I got to hit this break, Chad. Appreciate the call, and don't be a stranger. Thanks for the call. I mean, that's not the first time we've heard that either. I don't think that's where they're going to go. We'll have that conversation later. David Williams will be with us next. He is the interim athletic director at the University of New Mexico. He's the guy charged with leading you through this right now. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman!
Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. Our law firm was founded by my father, Thibaut J. Chavez, with one goal: to get New Mexicans the help they need. That's why we built a different kind of law firm. We focus on family values, dedicated service, and we make a real contribution by giving back to our communities. We can't change what happened to you or your loved ones, but we can help you get back on the road to recovery. We're by your side, and we're still as local as red and green.
Bieta and JJ Bach.
All right, Lobos at Auburn tomorrow. It's over on News Radio KKOB. The charter leaves somewhere around noon. What's the chatter on the charter, huh? Going to Auburn, Alabama. Lobos are like 28.5-point dog. It's ESPN 2 tomorrow night, 4:30 pregame on News Radio KKOB, 5:30 kickoff, New Mexico at Auburn. And obviously all the talk is you've had the conversation everywhere you go. What's going on with the Mountain West? What are the Lobos going to do? What should they do? And there's a lot of questions, and I don't know that there's a lot of answers yet. But what has happened? And David Williams is the longtime deputy athletic director at the University of New Mexico under Eddie Nunez. And when Eddie left recently to go to Houston to take the job there, David has been moved into the interim athletic director role. He joins us this morning on These Sports Animals. So you want to be an athletic director, huh? Good morning, David. How you living?
Good morning, Jeff. Good morning, JJ. Doing well, thank you.
Yeah, little activity yesterday. All right, look, we all knew, and Eddie has been on with us, so we've talked to him about the possibility of this happening. And I know he said, with President Stokes' position as the president of the board and his position, he preached unity, and obviously there's what happened. When did you find out? We knew this was a possibility, Dave. When did you find out with the rest of us on Friday or on Wednesday night?
That's when we found out it was for sure happening when Gloria was contacted late on Wednesday night. Yeah. Wednesday night, after a media report surfaced, which was a leak, which is going to tell us what was going to happen all day yesterday. So 11 o'clock at night, Gloria Nevarez called me at night. I was actually sound asleep. I looked over my phone, saw the vibrating message, and said, "Uh-oh, it's either a butt dial or something's up." And
the commissioner probably isn't butt dial.
Something was up.
Yeah. All right. So yesterday, and I know you were on the phone all day. What's the priority now? Is it to try to get into the pack? Is it to keep this league together? Is it to find a landing spot for UNM? Obviously, it's stability, whatever that means. Where are you trying to aim the ship right now?
The priority, and that's been discussed with the leadership of UNM and leadership of the state, is what is best for UNM and what is best for this community and the state of New Mexico. What that is, we'll figure it out. But that is absolutely the priority, as I'm sure it's the priority of all the other schools, either in the Mountain West or the ones that are leaving the Mountain West. They're making decisions based on what is best for their individual schools and what they can, the best situation they can find. And that will be New Mexico's priority as well.
Yeah. I look at it, and Eddie and I have had this conversation. I've had this conversation with J.D. Wicker at San Diego State and Tom Berman up at Wyoming. How do you know who to trust? You're sitting at a table, or in this case, you're on the phone, and right, you guys, all the athletic directors get on the phone, and all right, how do we hold together? But do you trust Harp at UNLV? Is the rumors are he's going to the Pac-12, or because everybody, to your point, is looking to do what and that's their job, to do what's best for their institution.
So trust isn't the right word, I guess, because honestly, I trust all of them. I have relationships, and I talked to JD yesterday. I'm talking to Jeremiah this morning. I trust all those guys, but I also understand the business, and it's a different level that I understand what they need to keep close to the vest and what they can share, and we do share a lot of things. But in a situation like this, where knowledge of things that are happening could derail your own personal good, you're not going to put that out there. And if you look, the number of people even inside of Boise State that knew that this was happening was a very small number of people. And so, does he trust? Trust isn't the right word. It's more understanding the business, understanding what people need to do to get things done.
David Williams is the interim athletic director at the University of New Mexico. He's with us this morning on the Sports Animal.
Well, Dave, as we've seen in athletics over the last decade, having just a backup plan is not enough. So when you're having just these discussions, like how deep are you going just in terms of everyone throwing ideas out there just so there's not just A and B, but C, D, E, F, G at this point of just ways to go.
And you hit it right on the head, actually, JJ. It's we're still at the stage of one, figuring out what happened and why it happened. Then we'll get to the stage of, okay, what could be next? And when you think about what could be next, all ideas are thrown at the table, and you work parallel paths to understand what might be the best way forward for UNM. And then what that ultimately means for UNM with those parallel paths moving forward. This isn't a new concept for in our internal administration within the athletic department. We have been thinking about this for a long time, and knowing that if something would happen, how do we position ourselves to be either stay in the Mountain West, move on, whatever is best for UNM. And we know those factors that are being considered when choosing the schools to move on. We're not in the 4 initial schools going to the Pac-12 for reasons. And we have been working on those reasons for a long time, and we need to continue to work on those reasons. Some are in our control, and some are not. And we need to control what we can and make ourselves as good as we can for this university and for this state.
Yeah, and I think part of identifying the reasons, it helps you get to the next step. Why are you in this spot? What are the reasons? And you know, Eddie has talked about how you've been positioned, and President Stokes has, but yet you said a really key something there: the 4 initial teams to move, which means maybe you believe there's more teams from this league that are going to the Pac, and I would assume you want to be one of them. Why are you in the position where you were left behind in the initial 4?
And the obvious one is we have lacked success in football, and the lack of success in football is caused by a lot of things, but ultimately also causes a lot of things. And one of the things that causes is for our media market to be, in my opinion, very undervalued. Yeah. If you can say and discuss how large our media market is, but you also need to think about the effectiveness and the media market value for major sponsors. So, and our media market value that we have seen is not rated nearly as high as I believe it should be and could be.
When you say rated, I mean it's the between 46th and 48th media market. But when you say rated, are we just talking about perception? Or are we talking about how do you? What's the metric on that?
You know, Jeff, it's a internal document that we're working on with Mountain West.
Okay.
And it goes back to the discussion on us deciding and researching who might be expansion candidates for the Mountain West. Well, the first thing they do is self-reflect. Yeah. And they self-reflect based on our current members. And in our current membership, one thing we need to do is understand better how can we improve our media market, and that's something that I'm still trying to understand a better way to do.
David Williams, interim athletic director at UNM, is with us.
You know, Dave, of course, all these moves for these schools, it's about operating budget and what you need to run an athletic department, and then the uncertainty of how much more money is going to be there needed to pay student athletes. But the student athletes themselves, are they being thought about in these conversations? The changes, the added travel they signed up for versus what they're getting? What kind of effect does this have on the student athlete?
So conference expansion used to be about geography, and it no longer is. It's about it is about how much more revenue can you create by grouping a group of schools together that will give you a more and larger multimedia deal to the television networks. And so, unfortunately, you're correct, JJ. Sometimes the student-athlete experience and traveling them across the country and things has gone by the wayside. And it really is a factor of how much more money is worth the extra strain it puts on the student-athlete. The Mountain West in the past has not had to experience that. One challenge that New Mexico has, and frankly the West Coast has, is a lack of number of schools in SBS as compared to the east of Mississippi. Sure. And so we're a little bit more geographically challenged. We're harder to get to for a number. We're a flight university. We have very few bus trips. And so it is a factor, and I just hope that we can always, at UNM, I just hope that we can always continue to think of our student-athlete experience and their overall welfare, because it's a big deal to me personally, and I know it's a big deal to President Stokes.
Dave, I want to go back to the football thing because I think it's the right answer. Why are we here? And I think I've talked about that for a long time. How do you address it? You can talk about it, and I think the facility is an issue. Obviously, you can't change the record over the last 2 decades. How do you address that? Whether you're going to the PAC and saying, hey, we want to get in and here's what we're going to do about football, or if there's another conference that, if yours dissolves, we don't know what's going to happen. What's the plan to address football? Because I think if people didn't realize how important football is before, you're getting smacked in the face with it now. Yeah.
And we have been addressing football. Unfortunately, it hasn't paid off yet. There's no one who puts more pressure on himself than Bronco, and no one who put more pressure on himself than Danny Gonzalez did. But the reality is that even the structural improvements that we have made haven't been enough. When we hired Bronco Mendenhall, at one of the first meetings we had with our staff, the message was that hiring Bronco Mendenhall is a good step. It's not going to be enough to ensure success moving forward with the sport of football. We have to think differently about what we do internally. What structure are we providing? And frankly, that structure is in a changing moment in the world of college athletics. What was important 5 years ago won't be as important 5 years from now. The facility needs some TLC. But it may not be the most important thing moving forward. It might be revenue sharing if the House settlement ever goes through. It might be continued NIL support. It surely is support for your coaching staff and their assistant coaches, and then to treat those student athletes well when they're here. We still fundraise for every one of our programs to provide, I wouldn't say basic needs, but to provide needs for our student athletes. And the biggest thing we need to do better is feed our student athletes better. Our nutrition program needs to get better. And so it's monitoring the whole situation and seeing what's going to be most important for winning. Because winning is what matters, and all the other things need to take a back seat until we figure out how to win in football, and then we'll address some of everything.
And a lot of it's going to take money. And whether it's, we talk exit fees, we talk TV right fees, we talk about facility improvements. Where's the money going to come from, right? And I know that's something that's got to be at the top of your list to address. Where's the money coming from?
I don't know where the money comes from right now, Jeff, but I can tell you that San Diego State just built Snapdragon Stadium for, $350 million, I believe.
Okay.
Colorado State's new stadium was, I think, $375 million. Boise State, they have invested in their stadium over the years and is currently in a expansion mode of their stadium. And Fresno State is working to pass a bond in, I believe it's the city or the county, I'm not positive, that would provide them upwards of $30 million a year for facility improvements, including their football stadium. But they've also been in a situation where they've had a history of winning. And so if I had my priority, I would think about first, what would it take to win? And then know that after we win, just like in basketball, when we won in basketball, the fans came. We win in football, fans will come, and then we can talk about what we need to do with the stadium. But we need to think about how to win first.
Yeah. All right. In the immediate, what's next? Because David, it's moving, right? There's got to be a plan, and I know it's moving, boom, 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 and you can get a call anytime, right? They're gone, they're in, they're not, we're moving. In the immediate for UNM, what? As a Lobo fan sits there and just spinning, going, where are we going to go? And I know you don't know the answer. Where do you land? But so for a Lobo fan going into the weekend, what's the immediate?
We're going to continue to work every parallel path. And we know, and the administration, all the regions are well aware of what is going on and asking the right questions and committed to making sure that we are in a position of strength. And in the meantime, we will run down all those different opportunities that are out there and understand what it would mean to choose one of them if we are chosen for one of them. And in the meantime, we will stay positive. We will keep the student-athlete current experience on a great level. And this year, we're hoping that this spurs the fans of UNM and come on out to the Fresno football game on next Saturday. And let's beat a future Pac-12 member and have fun doing it.
Is it fair to walk away saying, hey, so the plan is we're still exploring a way to be included headed into the Pac while maintaining our viability and stability in the Mountain West Conference and being ready for and being proactive if something else happens?
So I think, Jeff, that in order to really say we want to be in that mix, we have to understand what that means.
Yeah.
And we don't know what the terms of the contract were to join that Pac-12 group. And that's the first thing we're going to have to find out. And then would we even be wanted?
Yeah, I think that's the first thing. Are you wanted, right? Are you welcome there? Yeah.
And we're gonna work that path, just like every other school in the Mountain West is going to work that path. But we're also cognizant of what are those terms. Let's pick one term. Let's just say that in order to get into the Pac-12, that those schools have committed to full revenue sharing of the student athletes of $22 million, which is the NCAA limit move forward if the House settlement goes through. And so that would be a decision we have to make. Could we afford to revenue share $22 million moving forward if that's what it takes to get into the Pac-12? And so without knowing the full terms, without knowing what, then it's premature to say whether
that's a priority.
can want to. Because remember, President Stokes has a full university to run.
That's right.
Not just an athletic department. And so we have to be very cognizant of that we are part of the university and want to do what's best for this university. We happen to think that athletics is a major portion, and so does she. And so, all we can do is really look forward to it and crave this experience and really work all the angles as best we can.
Appreciate the time of the conversation. I know you got a lot going on. Hopefully your phone works in the air. Flight leaves, safe travels to Auburn. Good luck against Auburn and SEC country. And I know we'll talk to you next week and certainly in the near future.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate it. He's David Williams, the interim athletic director at the University of New Mexico. You just blew out a big puff of smoke or puff of air. I just got to take this break. Nick Nee at the bottom of the hour, but I know you want to respond to that. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
And rewarded for doing more. But people weren't designed for all that doing. Our bodies need to settle into nothing from time to time. Into nothing at all. In a world obsessed with doing more, we invite you to undo.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505.
Our facilities, you see everything. Locker rooms, you see the flat screens, you see everything. And so I would have to say that our priority needs to be winning and getting the stadium done ASAP. And I can't help but think if you build a new stadium that's attractive, not only to the players and the coaches and programs across the country that might be looking at you for expansion, but also to the fans, because fans want to have that great experience as well. And right now we don't have that. Secondly, this is a question that you're probably going to be able to answer better than myself, is when they take two of arguably the best 3 or 4 basketball programs out of our conference as well, that's got to affect us there. So how does that affect us as a strength of conference? Because we've arguably been like at the door of the main conference right outside the power conferences in terms of basketball.
Yeah, and I'll answer all that. Thanks, Jeff. It affects you tremendously. JJ, you just took out your number one brand, a team who played for the national championship. You just took out 3 NCAA tournament teams. How does that affect your strength of conference? Tremendously.
Gigantic.
Tremendously.
Yes.
It's inarguable in regards to basketball how it affected you. You just lost to San Diego State brand, who's been to the conference or been to the NCAA tournament. How long and played for a national championship? Boise State, Colorado State both went to the tournament. Yes. All right. Well, more of this. Can we do something sweet? You want to do? Can I do a sweet deal for you? Winter's here from Route 66 Diner. How are you? Are you okay with Are you going to do a big conference expansion shake or something?
No.
Is it going to taste like watermelon Jolly Ranchers?
It's candy corn season.
It's candy corn season. See, everybody's on team watermelon Jolly Ranchers. Here's our sweet deal. It is Route 66 Diner. You get on our website at 9 o'clock. You hit on the sweet deal icon, and it's at sportsanimalabq.com. And for just $25, you get $50 at Route 66 Diners. The classic comfort foods, the best milkshakes in town, lots of new flavors, and everything you got. What do you got?
Yeah, I have all kinds of things. I also answer to all seasons. So
do you?
Yes.
So it's winter, but do you get?
No, it's summer, but I'll answer to winter. Just kidding. Yes,
now I'm like, really?
I'm giving you a hard time.
It is summer.
I answer to all seasons.
Did I just? At least I didn't call you Autumn.
I mean, you can.
I mean, we're going into autumn. Hey, Autumn.
Answer. Hi, yes.
Are they all names?
Yeah, they really are.
How often do you
Spring.
get called different?
All the time.
Did I get the business right?
Yeah.
Yes. Is that what matters?
You're fine. No.
I wrote down summer. What am I new? Like, I'm in the middle of
we
summer.
We already talked about how we're not awake. I totally understand that. But no, you're great. Thank you.
You know
for
what? One
me.
thing I won't do is tell you I want candy corn.
I know you will not tell me that, and I'm sorry. I completely forgot.
Hey, summer is here from Route 66 Diner. It's over there on Central, right across from the old the bar that shut down like 18 years ago and is still shut down, just to the west of UNM. Put it on your lunch go-by list. Go get dinner. 30% off of any chocolate milkshake. What? National Chocolate Milkshake Month?
Well, National Chocolate Milkshake Day was yesterday, but
it says it right here. He put it on here. It's
I
his
know.
fault.
It's such a big deal that we're letting it go all week.
Really?
So till the end of the week, 30% off any chocolate shake, because we have to celebrate those very big holidays. Milkshake days are a big deal.
What
for
about
us.
the Cruiser Club where I get a free milkshake?
You do get a free milkshake for signing up, and then a free meal on your birthday.
My birthday's next month.
Oh, perfect!
I'm going to sign up for the Cruiser Club and get a free milkshake.
Please do.
It's going to be watermelon Jolly Rancher milkshake.
I will figure that out. I forgot. I'm sorry. That is my fault.
All right, you get a website for people to learn about you. I mean, who the hell doesn't know about you guys?
66diner.com.
Right,
yes,
easy.
absolutely. We're same place we've been 37 years.
That's all?
Yes, I know.
I mean,
We're
you guys
newbies.
are still new. We're figuring it out.
Newbies, yeah.
It is the classic menu. It's comfort foods. It's great burgers, great shakes, great. I mean, from the meatloafs to everything you got there is just terrific. It's centrally located. Hey, where are we going to have lunch? Route 66 Diner. Where are we going to go for dinner? Just figure it out because I know you've been there. They've been there forever. Bring the whole family. Step back in time. Do. Enjoy the milkshakes and get a sweet deal. It's $50. It only costs you $25. You go to our website, sportsanimalabq.com. 9 o'clock, they will go quickly. Click on the icon that says sweet deal and take advantage of it. She is summer. She is warm. She is the season you look forward to. It's just warm, wonderful, comforting summer. I apologize.
Well,
I didn't want
it's
I
fine.
didn't want to have to put on a parka just to talk to you. I apologize.
You're great.
It's good to see you.
I appreciate you having me.
It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This report brought to you by Quality by DiLorenzo.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired outsider posing with borrowed gloves. I grew up here. New Mexico is in my blood. I'm a New Mexican fighting for other New Mexicans. I'm Adam Oki. I'll be your champion in the courtroom.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
Got shots? Got shots? Got shots?
During Got Shots, participating providers open their doors for any child who presents for immunizations, regardless of whether they are a patient or whether they have insurance.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
A burglary takes place in the United States approximately every 15 seconds. International Protective Service is your answer for commercial and residential security in all of Albuquerque. IPS will work with your monitoring company for fast, reliable response times. You can rest easy knowing you, your family, or your company is watched over by International Protective Service. Call International Protective Service today.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Spell, get ready!
My coach. My teacher. My older sisters. My grandma. My brother. My tutor. My dad and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
In golf, you got the Solheim Cup as well, and you got, I don't know, mid to low 80s and not a lot of wind and relatively perfect conditions around here to go out and hit the golf ball. Opening drive, Jeff Symbieta and J.J. Buck. Get back in the conversation on the conferences and what David Williams had to say, but what we do on Fridays at 8:30-ish. We don't. All right, we kind of talk about golf, and we'll continue to try to get a hold of Nick. I didn't even look down. All right, we can continue the conversation then. And if JJ, if we get a hold of Nick, we'll exit. I got a bunch of response to what David Williams had to say. Jeff sent me a text, and so if you missed it, you do want to hear it. It's on our website, sportsanimalabq.com. It's wherever you get your podcast. The interim athletic director, David Williams, was with us. And JJ, the answer was right. How did we get here? And the answer is lack of success in football. He said, I think the television market's undervalued. I still don't know why I understand the metric on that. I don't know that I think he's wrong. I'm not sure what I understand. How it's undervalued. It is what it is, right? The numbers are what the numbers are, but do people value?
Maybe they don't give him enough credit for those numbers being what they are.
Whoever they is, right? I mean, and that would be the people making the decisions on conference realignment. Jeff said the last three governors have all had massive surplus from oil and gas at the end of their terms. All three of them have absolutely dropped the ball in rebuilding University Stadium. It's not getting any cheaper, and if they don't understand how this hurts the state in terms of tourist dollars, television exposure, etc., they're stupider than the average person. The answer was, how do we get here, was football. And look, David talked about the facility. How long have I been talking about the facility? And the need to upgrade that facility. And people said, oh, it doesn't matter. And it's not that,
It matters. And especially when New Mexico, its athletics have been Division I sports. That's been the biggest thing. You're not competing against a pro team coming in this or that. So to me, it's a fair conversation to have at the state level. Is what do you want, first, New Mexico State to be, and then go from there. Because those are your biggest front porch things.
All right, so what do you want them to be? And I think that's a really interesting conversation. Dan says, reply to Williams, Jeffrey and Juan Jose, I don't want to pay players $22 million a year. And going back, that was part of what he said, are we going to be part of revenue sharing after the House settlement? And he continues. He says there needs to be a permanent 1AA plus. Call it the Stigfoot division. For clubs like Lobos, New Mexico State, Wyoming, Nevada, UTEP, et cetera, that are too big for the FCS. I don't know what makes them too big, but can't hang with Texas or Alabama, where those clubs would compete year in and year out for championships. When you were Juan Jose State or Hawaii a few years ago, having one attention-grabbing season every 50 years doesn't do much to help your programs long-term. Until that happens, you're going to continue to have these schools trying to find resources to catch lightning in a bottle for a year or two. That's not building a sustainable program. I don't know what sustainable programs are anymore. I don't know what building is, because you're going to have transfer portal. You're not going back. Even if you can have that division, whatever division you want, you will still have transfer portal. Okay? You're not going back. That is the student athletes, basically, they're right now. Okay? There's going to be NIL. Everybody's going to be paying somebody. You're not putting salary caps. And we keep talking about putting a limited salary cap on this. And every time the NCAA goes to court and goes to litigation, they lose. So I don't know where you think you're going backwards on that. But okay. I'm listening. What does that mean? So there's plenty of you who think there should be a separate division. Okay. 505-246-0610. Rudy, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hello, Rudy.
Good morning. Hey, at this point, it's not a matter of money. It's a matter of will, okay? Do we have the collective will?
No, you better have money, too.
Here's the proposal. You're sitting on $3 billion, I believe it is. $3 billion.
Yeah.
Take $200 million
money
and establish an excellent in sports foundation for the 2 D1 schools.
Yeah.
Split that interest income each year between New Mexico and New Mexico State. They can do with it whatever they need to. You create one more fund out of this $3 billion surplus for investment in stadium, and your problem is solved.
I think that's a start. I think that's a start, and then you better find other revenue streams in this state. And look, I think there's a lot of untapped streams in this state, whether it's individuals or corporations. This is you've heard me say this. This is the richest poor state in the world, right? Or in America,
because we don't have the Tata or Ferretta or whatever his name is in Houston that decided to do that. We had our guy. It was Turner Branch, and when Turner passed away, that was the end of that. But there's got to be somebody else out there, and we have to mine all those relationships.
Yes.
And we have to find people who truly care about this state.
Well, and that starts with leadership, Rudy, right? Don't you agree? I mean, you've been here longer than me, but I've been here long enough to know. I mean, there's people that around this state that need to be courted, made to feel important, made to feel included, and made to feel, understand why it would be important and why. I don't know, whether it's putting your name on a building or a conference room or whatever it is that makes people want to be involved. I just really, better than I probably how many untapped resources there are in the state.
They're there, and so we have to start tapping and we have to start mobilizing. But it does start with the state, and when you take that money and somebody takes the lead, then somebody else wants to hop in. Have you ever been to a swimming party and nobody's getting in the pool, and then one person jumps in, and then before you know it, everybody's in the pool and having fun? It's that same concept, Jeff, and we need to tap into it. And so I'm calling every legislator I know, and it's time. We cannot continue to fiddle while New Mexico burns.
Get on the phone because it's a critical time. Let me ask you this, and I only ask you this because I know how passionate you are. What's the priority? Is the priority to get in the pack? Is it to make sure your conference, the Mountain West, now is stable and expands in the right way?
The pack isn't even a conference.
Well, okay, but it will be. But it will be. No, it's not a thought. There's 6 of them, and they're going to get to 8. You know that.
It may be. First, they have to induce 2 other teams to get to 8 teams. Right now, the Mountain West is a conference. And it could be a battle of who's left standing in that. And I know one thing about Gloria Narvaez. She's a fighter.
All right.
So she's going to fight this, and she's going to try to keep this conference together because that's what she's been asked to do. And so we might go forward with or without Fresno or San Diego State. The only reason Fresno got in that mix is because the county that they're in is giving them $30 million a year. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that. Okay, but
Fresno County is giving them $30 million a year.
I also know they've been good at football, and I also know that's what matters.
Well, yeah, because their basketball program and all their other programs are pretty much trash.
Yeah, but they're good in football, aren't they?
Well, they're okay. We invited them to a bowl game. I don't think that it's anything that UNM can't be.
But they're what UNM hasn't been. And is that fair?
Oh yeah, because we've never had the will in football. Ever since we went from everybody went to platoon, we've just been sitting there lollygagging and hoping, and we hire a good coach, and then he leaves. And like Rocky said, there's only been 2 kinds of coaches before Rocky got here: those that won enough games to get the hell out, and those that were so lousy they got fired.
Yeah, I think that's everywhere, though. I think that's
everywhere. Third type is Bronco and Rocky.
Yeah, I think that's fair. And now the Roosters have come home to roost, and now you got to figure out what to do. All right, we'll talk. Yep. Appreciate you.
Okay.
505-246-0610. Keep them coming. I got a bunch more responses. Then we're going to get into the NFL, and we can get into 2. I've been like, what happened last night was so disturbing. The football game had to surprise you a little bit, though, didn't it? I mean, not necessarily who won, but how. We can get there as well. On the Spot Automotive Detailing details my vehicle. They should detail yours as well. Award-winning services, and it's unparalleled convenience. What does that mean? Well, first of all, they're the best at what they do. They detail your vehicle inside, outside, around the rims. I mean, all the detail around all the crevices and under the seats. And this is what the car dealerships do. They're best in the city because they're the best. The unparalleled convenience, the mobile auto detailing service comes to you. You don't take it to them. They go, because you're busy. They go to you where it works, when it works for you. And when they're done, you go outside and your car looks like it's brand new. Protect your vehicle with revolutionary Ceramic Pro coating. It's a nano ceramic shield that offers unmatched scratch resistance and gloss. It's available in Albuquerque and in Rio Rancho. Their Ceramic Pro packages safeguard your paint against the elements. It ensures lasting beauty and protection. Look, it's one of your biggest investments, is it not? Take care of it. It's your vehicle. Be proud of it and want to be in it. It's a great gift as well. You can go through their services at otsdetailing.com and understand why they were voted best in the city and why you should choose On the Spot Automotive Detailing. I love the service. I know you will as well. 505, we'll just give them a call. Go online first at otsdetailing.com and then call them at 505-859-2859. 505-859-2859.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Mir here. And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay. We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field. 505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space. And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am an Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We fight the battles no one hears about. We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop.
I am Michael Azera, midfielder for New Mexico United. Clark's support for the United is an example of their commitment to local partnerships. Clark's understands that paying it forward develops a better team and ultimately better community partner.
When you need pet food and supplies,
Clark's is always the best shot.
Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations.
Go United!
ClarksPets.com.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them, gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife, and our daughter, they didn't make it.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, rip, plastered, taint, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. Our law firm was founded by my father, Thibaut J. Chavez, with one goal, to get New Mexicans the help they need. That's why we built a different kind of law firm. We focus on family values, dedicated service, and we make a real contribution by giving back to our communities. We can't change what happened to you or your loved ones, but we can help you get back on the road to recovery. We're by your side, and we're still as local as red and green.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in Autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info,
2460610. Morning, Mud.
Hey, good morning, guys. I was pretty sad to hear that story yesterday about they're taking some Mountain West schools or whatever. But I think that if we stay positive and, why don't we give those other schools, the FCS schools, like the Montana State, Montana, the Idahos, let's put them in our conference and, let's battle with them. Like they're national prominence of Montana State as well, right? Third in the country in their division or whatever. I think that maybe if we grow that way, that'll be great. And another thing too is that I know University Stadium, it hasn't been renovated in a long time. I think that if since our legislators won't give us money, why don't we look like maybe like Rudy said, a private entity. Maybe how about casinos around the metro, 66 or
Maybe.
Florida or
maybe.
Sandia or you know.
Yeah, maybe that's where the money is. Yeah, maybe that's what it is. All right, man. No, I appreciate you. Thanks, Mud. All right, we'll continue this. We got 3 for All coming up at 9:30, right? We can do that still? We got a hoe coming up at some point? Maybe we should have hoed with David Williams. Maybe it would have made him feel better. You know? 505-246-0610. Keep them coming. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM. At AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired outsider posing with borrowed gloves. I grew up here. New Mexico is in my blood. I'm a New Mexican fighting for other New Mexicans. I'm Adam Oki. I'll be your champion in the courtroom.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit HansWhitlerAuto.com.
The best sports show in New Mexico for 5 years running. It's the OD and the AM.
with 3-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Symbieta, and JJ Bond.
All right, we can go other places, you know. There's a lot going on. There's a game tomorrow. There's a few games tomorrow. Aggies play at Fresno State tomorrow night, JJ. I mean, that's kind of a big deal, right? Rematch of last year's Isleta, New Mexico Bowl. Lobos are in Auburn, Alabama. They're playing SEC team tomorrow. Playing the Auburn Tigers. That's kind of a big deal, right? We had NFL last night. You can get there as well. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck. The number to get in is 505-246-0610. That is the Sports Animals phone line. It is also our text line. Your emails come in, Jeff at sportsanimалabq.com, JJ at sportsanimалabq.com. We spoke with David Williams this morning, the interim athletic director at UNM. Got a lot of response on that, and I want to get through the rest of these, and then if you want to move, we can move. All right, this one says, I'll start it here. Our governor has to share in the blame for the status of the football program. What she did to the state during COVID set the program back at least 3 seasons. Danny was set up to fail. Bronco's the right choice for our current position. Danny probably was, but ultimately one of his hands was tied behind his back. As the governor, had she not done what she did, we could be celebrating with the others today. That caller, Jeff, was on spot. The people of New Mexico don't think of the future. We not want to build a stadium for soccer. They have turned down a downtown arena for years and pour money into Tingley instead. Tingley should have been blown up in the 80s. Now they won't support a new football stadium. Instead, they want to go to Wellborn and pick up a fresh bucket of paint. It's been well documented a pig with lipstick is still a pig. In life, there are things in our control and things that are beyond our control. We always will always be with the school without a chair to sit. We'll always be the school without a chair to sit in when the musical chairs stops until we invest in the UNM athletic department. This is something we can control. Look, you got to prioritize, right? And I understand there's limited money in some places, and you know everybody keeps telling me there's a ton of money at the state, and they should invest in UNM athletics. Wyoming did; they got left behind too. Now that may be more because of geography. I don't know. There was no guarantee. I think we all agree. JJ, you, me, David Williams said it. When I asked flat out, how did we get here? What's the reason we're here? And he said football, right? And I believe that. I don't know if you do or not. Problem with UNM not being accepted in the Pac-2, turn the Pac-8 isn't its lack of either a big budget or better facilities. It's a poor football product. It appears UNM's little brother, New Mexico State, proved that point, doing quite well with little to no budget and hardly much of a facility. Maybe the Lobos can follow the Aggies into their conference. So that's the counter to the other email, right? The governor destroyed UNM, and well, New Mexico State shut down completely that year. New Mexico State, now you're going to tell me they had a less congested path in their conference than you did in yours. I won't argue that Conference USA is not the football conference Mountain West is, but hell, they've beaten you ever since, right? I mean, head to head, they've been better than you, right? Since coming out, I agree that there was a setback there. What has New Mexico State done since then, and what did New Mexico do football-wise since then? That's the counter to the argument, isn't it?
It is the counter. Like, 2020 happened. It was rough. But that's not the reason why you're not in the Pac-12.
I mean, there was nothing good about what happened. But that's where we are. All right, let me give you one more, and then we'll reply to Mud. Let's not play Montana State and Timbuktu State. So there's going to be, this is going to be really funny how this plays out too. Because there's been this, and I've watched it on the social media, and it is right there. We don't want to play these crappy schools, right? We're better than these schools. We don't want, which is exactly what those schools just said to you, right? I mean, that's how you got left behind. That's what San Diego State and Fresno State and Boise State and Colorado State just said to you. We don't want to play those schools. and they left you behind. And now you're kind of, well, we don't want to play them. And I get it. That's how it works. Dan says soft landing for Thomas Patrick Brady. Lousy TV debut. He'll be the new Dolphins quarterback. Ooh. You want to talk about that? We had football last night. 31-10, Bills over the Dolphins. Tua did not play well, and then got concussed. And I look at the screen right now. It says, should Tua ever play football again in the NFL? We asked this question 2 seasons ago, didn't we?
I don't think we should. That's a fair question asked at all.
Who are we to judge that?
What? That's a big national narrative because Tua, we've seen him put in bad situations, coming back too quickly. But if they're following the protocol, this is on Tua, the doctors, and his family. Not to then all of a sudden put some arbitrary number out there and you can say every NFL player that suffers 3 concussions, are you telling them to stop playing football? There's dudes in the league right now probably have 8, 9 on their record.
It just
You're
hasn't
not concerned
been
about them right now.
Yeah, it just hasn't been as high profile and hadn't been a quarterback. And by the way, the whole, what do we call it? Fencing when the hands go like that? Is that what it is? I mean, it's concerning. Don't get me wrong.
It's very concerning, but
it's
I don't
not my
like
choice.
How now that's the thing. Like, Tua shouldn't play football again. Well,
It was
are
the
you
thing
going,
then too.
Okay, but why just with him?
Yeah.
Why ignoring everyone else?
Because he's the one that shows those obvious symptoms that are front and center that makes us.
There's more.
That's why.
It doesn't matter if it's obvious or not.
No, I mean you asked why, then that's why.
I don't like the narrative.
Yeah,
and I think it's unfair to Tua.
Yeah,
and then you're going to say, well, because you're putting that out there, and it's a national talking point.
Yeah, it's beyond
and then
that now. It's crazy.
It's okay. So you're going to then point at every player who has 3 documented concussions and tell them they have to stop playing football.
Well, I don't know. You can say they have to, and everybody's saying, what.
But people are saying the
think is
NFL
best.
needs to step in. No, they don't.
Everybody look, and I don't know where Tua is going to be in 30 years from now. I hope he's healthy and happy and has a great life and family and career and is living. I don't know. Has there been a parallel with concussions and later in life issues? Yeah, there has been, and it's Tua's decision that he's a grown ass man making a good living. Seems to be a bright man, and he's got his own decisions. And there have been guys that have stepped away from the game. I mean, look, Andrew Luck stepped away before his prime. Shaquille Barrett this season, right before. I'm not telling you it's because of concussions. It's for whatever reason. It is a violent game, man. And if you go to any of these NFL alumni things and you see these guys limping around and their fingers pointing north and south and east and west, and I mean, they know what they're getting into.
It destroys your body.
It does.
But this should be start with doctors, and then not people trying to point to the NFL and then say, "Well, now you have to step in." Right. So then go into the records and be like, "Well, there's 103 players in the league right now that have 3 documented concussions. You have to tell them to not play football."
Yeah. Well, first of all, you're never going to mandate, "Hey, if you have X number of documented concussions, you're no longer able to play." You can't do that. It wouldn't stand litigation. Right, it just wouldn't. Now they're trying to protect themselves from litigation in some respects. I just don't need a panel of talking heads on every channel telling me he should stop playing football. That's up to him and his family. Am I okay with the concern for his health? Sure I am.
Absolutely,
sure I am. And if the conversation goes to should he think about it, is he more like, I don't know the answer to this. Are some more susceptible to concussions than others? From what I understand from the research, is the more you have, the more susceptible you are. Is that correct? Is that what you understand? Right. I'm not going to pretend to be a damn neurosurgeon. And nor am I going to call for a guy to stop. Now, I would say if I'm in his position, am I evaluating what's best for the rest of my life? I got a lot of money already. I love playing the game, but I don't know, man. I'm talking to people who know. I'm not talking to every damn talking head in a suit on my TV.
That's just where it went that frustrated me. Like the NFL had to step in, and I'm like, do you know how many careers you're going to cancel if you want to go down that road? Like, it's violent.
It's really
I'm
violent.
glad that now head injuries are being taken seriously.
Sure.
And you have the concussion protocol.
And you have the education.
Some more outside influences in there, because football players, coaches, they're going to play. Seeing stars, you're good. People don't want to lose their jobs. So you do have to have some pressure to follow protocol, to understand that these things are important. And I think Mike McDaniel in Miami absolutely understand that with what they went through last time this happened. But then you also look at a guy, and he did play 17 games last year.
Yep.
Got a gigantic contract extension. And these things just happen.
How
Just
much he got guaranteed? Like $200 million?
You could step back on your fourth play of the season and tear your Achilles. Like it's a risk that you take in athletics.
Dolphins have said this morning they will add another quarterback. They didn't say that they're going to put Tua on IR. They don't know how long it's going to be. They have not said that yet. There's a lot of Ryan Tannehill talk out there, which is really interesting. I mean, honestly, really interesting if he goes back there and does something. From the football aspect, holy bleep, man. I mean, they got run out of their own building. And he played that game. This isn't, they played with Skylar Thompson. No. He threw 3 interceptions. One of them, by the way, was very Will Levis-esque.
The last one. The first two.
Yeah.
Are you an NFL wide receiver?
Catch the football, you mean? Yeah.
Like that's why they don't throw to anyone other than Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. The first one, it hit the dude in his shoulder pad. He didn't even turn his head. What are you doing? That's why they don't throw you the football.
505-246-0610. Bottom of the hour, 9:30. We'll do our 3 for all. Tell you how not to bet. We got time for you. And, we got, a bunch of NFL stuff to get through. Oh, and one team scored 87 points in a shortened game last night. We need a shortened game in college football. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Dirty Boys present Fillin'.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Got shots. Got shots. Got shots.
During Got Shots, participating providers open their doors for any child who presents for immunizations, regardless of whether they are a patient or whether they have insurance.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sports shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, ripped, plastered, taint, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Albuquerque's
Friday the 13th. Friday the 13th. Makes it Friday now, doesn't it? Opening drive, Jeff Symbieta and BB Juck. They miss the medical point, those national sports talk hosts who suggest Tua should stop playing football to ensure his health due to his frequent concussions. Okay? It's on the text line. You can get there too. 505-246-0610. Hey, Jeff and JJ, just awaiting the Friday Ho segment. You must have excellent lung function. Laugh out loud. LOL. Later, guys. It's from John. Appreciate you, John. Working on the lung function. Jeff and JJ, how big is this Dodgers and Braves series? Seems like huge playoff implications for both teams. It's from Ronnie. Check out some baseball, JJ. Big. What's big? A couple weeks left in the season. Nobody's really secured anything in the National League. 505-246-0610. Terry, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. What's up, Terry?
Good Friday the 13th, Jeff and JJ. Thoughts and hugs to all your family members. Hope everything's well. Sorry about the game last week for Addie. Hope she still enjoys going to games and stuff. It'll get better.
Yeah.
It was tough when I had this one guy that knows kind of what's going on. He said, I think it's going to get ugly. And I go, but Addie's going to the game. And unfortunately, it did get ugly. Mountain West, well, now we're kind of, as I always used to compare it to Survivor and Big Brother, the reality shows where everybody lies to everybody and doesn't tell everybody the truth. And the Mountain West was wonderful a week ago, and everybody was inclusive. And now,
was it?
And who's gone? And now it's who's left and what they decide. To me, each school gets about $15 million. The ones, the 7 or 8 that are still there, potentially, if they can keep it together. But that you want to look over your shoulder. UNLV, I think you'll try to get out. But, that's where it happens. KU, 2012, they were on the hot seat. They had won a national title, the Orange Bowl in 2008. And 4 years later, they were like, where do we go if the Oklahoma and Texas Tech and Oklahoma State is left? I now kind of, Lobos, unfortunately, kind of know how UTEP feels when, they were part of the WAC in the 70s, and all of a sudden when the Mountain West came along, UTEP got dropped. Yes, my son coached there for a year, full disclosure.
We're left behind.
But, yeah, they're kind of, I don't know if you can get it there. The teams, I don't know. The Big 12 still gets crap now with losing Texas, Oklahoma. The respect the new Pac-12 will get. Good luck. But money-wise, I suggest they get a couple teams from the Central Time Zone to help for their package where they could maybe get some early games. I think that's where Larry Scott would have paid off. If Oklahoma and Texas had gone west, they could have had games all day long. So be it. And if we're throwing our names out for blame, Governor, I'll toss in the old AD who ran Rocky off and screwed up the pit. But you guys have a great weekend. Enjoy the show. Take care. Be safe.
All right,
Bye-bye.
see you. There's going to be a lot of talk about blame and where this is. I think the answer, I mean, your energy is more focused now on what are you going to do? And I understand the conversation and how we got here, and I've asked the question. I'm not telling you shouldn't ask that question. But now what? I mean, what do you want the priority to be? Do you want to end up in that league? I think you do, because you're probably I know you're one of 18 teams, 18 schools who called and said, what do I got to do to get in? Well, you better be working on. They left you back. They left you behind. Does that mean you're always going to be left behind? Does that mean you can't get in? I don't know, man. And like David Williams said, we don't know the deal. We don't know if we're welcome. I don't know. I mean, they kind of left you behind. Now, would they be welcome in a second wave? Would you be part of something? Maybe. I don't know. Yeah, you got to figure that out. But you also better figure out, if you are not going there, what your league looks like. And it's not just on you. You've got to play a part of that. That's where Gloria Navarez, the commissioner, comes in, holding this thing together. Are you targeting someone? You're going to have the league, whoever's left in this league is going to have a bunch of money. Sunbelt's living on that. Conference USA is living on exit fees. A lot of these leagues right now, JJ, the Conference USA, in large respect, is living. I don't want to say living. That's not the right way, but doing well because there's cash from exit fees that's been left behind. The Mountain West there's going to be somewhere $111 to $130 million in exit fees. You just give it to each school and go spend it. You're going to put some of it towards getting better. Is there incentives to bring somebody that you might want into the league? I've heard all these schools from the American. Well, they should get them. The American, their television deal is better. Why are they leaving the American to come to your league right now? What's the incentive? You got to start thinking a lot of different ways. Mike, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hi, Mike.
Hey, good morning, guys. Thanks for taking my call. Happy Friday the 13th to you. Just want to kind of chime in on this Mountain West Conference thing and the way this is going down. College football lately has become such a monetary juggernaut. I mean, college football makes so much money that it's inside of the process, inside of the machine. It's just a cream rising to the top kind of metaphor. And inside, the teams that are making the money are going to be adopted and absorbed into these better, bigger, more profitable leagues, and the teams that are not making money are going to be left behind. And that's sort of like, they've been talking about this with the expansion of the college football playoff and with the NIL and all this. This has been coming for a while. And it seems to me like you had some callers earlier say, join the Montana State, the Dakotas, get them in our league. I mean, New Mexico's looking like becoming like an FCS school or something like this is just because we haven't had the results. Like you said yesterday, the numbers don't lie. You can't lie about the numbers. And until the program gets better as a whole, this is what they're up against, man. So thanks for taking my call. Have a great day.
Thanks, Mike. Appreciate you. Ray, you're on the Sports Animal. Hello, Ray.
How's it going, guys?
Good. How you living?
Good. First, I say Lobos will cover tomorrow.
28.
And then I want to talk about the governor. As long as she's the governor, ain't nothing going to happen for UNM. You look at all the years past. You saw Bill Richardson, all the other governors go to the football games, always at the basketball games. Has she been to one? Since she's been in office, I haven't seen her at one sporting event that ever happened at UNM. Like all these other governors show up or go to the games. She's never been to a single one, and she can care less. She likes United, and if she could bend over backwards and give United all the money she wanted, she would do it. But for UNM sports, they ain't going to get nothing until she's out of office. That's all I got to say.
Thanks, Ray. I don't know if she's been, how many she's been. I don't know her agenda. I know she's been to a couple of bowl games at least. but I don't know her attendance record at UNM or NMS or anything else. Does that mean she's not giving money to them? Yeah, I know that certainly her and Peter Trevisani, the owner of United, and good for Peter, man, if he's fostered that relationship, right? And will there be money? I mean, when Peter was sitting here and they were talking about the new stadium, and they said, well, there's no more city money. And I asked him, well, will there be state money? And he was like, well, to landscape and outside this, so there'll be state money into that stadium. And good for Peter, man. I mean, good for him to figure that out and court that relationship, if that's the way it's going. Leo, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hi, Leo.
Is this me, Leo?
Yeah, this is you. You're on the air. What's up, Leo?
Hey, sir, I was wondering, what do you think about Coach Pitino? He doesn't want to coach in no Conference USA and play against Montana and Idaho. Hell, he's going to go as soon as he can. Don't you think?
I think one way or another, when he wins and gets offered a job in that 2-3, north of $3 million range, I think he was probably going to go anyway. Will this accelerate it? Let's see what it looks like. This is certainly a hit to the basketball conference. Leo, that's inarguable. To lose those three brands is, there's no sugarcoating. It's a hit to basketball. And so what's that going to mean for your coach and your program? We're going to see. But yeah, is it less likely? I don't know. I don't want to talk for Richard, but it's a fair concern. Leo, appreciate the call. JJ, I've heard that a million times. Let me give you my thoughts on that. And I want yours. I really want yours. I think Richard likes it here. I think he's grown to like it more. But I also think that, his name was up for the Louisville job. When that job offer comes, he's making 1 point, whatever it is, 1.3, I think is the number, ish. When that job comes to go somewhere and make $3 million and north, he's going to go, and you're going to say thank you, and you're going to shake his hand. You're going to understand why he's gone. And whether that's in the Mountain West Conference with San Diego State and Boise State and Colorado State, or with whatever the league's going to look like, I think that's inevitable at some point, don't you?
Yes, it's never a doubt that the success was going to lead to a bigger job for Richard Pitino if he was able to build off of what he's done the last couple seasons.
Yeah, and I don't blame
the hype, the players, the NIL collective, everything that he's been a part of. He was going to take a bigger job if he was offered. There's not a coach that's going to be here for 15 years ever again.
Yeah, I'm not mad at him.
That's the thing. Would this accelerate? Would he take a job potentially after this season if they're successful that doesn't wow you because of it? Possibly.
So now you start saying, if remember, was it not
South
this
Florida
offseason, the South Florida job 2 off seasons ago, where he was offered, I think the report was $1.8 million, right? Mm-hmm. And he stayed here, and I firmly believe he thought that they would win at a higher level last year and get a job, and he was up for the Louisville job. And now you reconsider, and again, I don't want to get in his head nor speak for him, but if you're in a league that, who knows what you're going to look like, would he think differently about the South Florida job and go to the American at that point?
You have to assume that it changes the way you look at things.
Maybe it does. Yeah, maybe it does. So, Leo, your concern's real. All Louisville basketball fans, your concerns are real. I'm not gonna downplay your concerns. There is no argument that the loss of those schools, those brands, those 3 NCAA tournament teams, one who played in a national championship game 2 seasons ago. There's no downplaying. Yes, that hurts your league basketball wise. Now, how do you build it back up? We're going to get 3 for all when we come back. Still take your phone calls at 505-246-0610 on the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
high school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Mirror here. And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay. We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field. 505 Sports Adventure is leading the charge in the NIL space. And you can be part of it.
You make my heart better. Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. See your baby, I give you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in Autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
3 games left for the Ice Scopes. Got a little day pace. Went out for lunch yesterday. Saw half of the building yesterday. Big Boss's birthday was yesterday. He was celebrating. Engineering staff was out there. Some of the sales. I mean, everybody was out there. Good day at the ball yard. I mean, not for the club, but it was nice to be out there. Opening drive, Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck. NFL this weekend, we got games for you. I'll find you exactly what we got for you. You got the schedule back there of everything that we're doing, all the games we got? All right, and I'll find it for you. But I know that we are your home for the National Football League. We had the game last night. And what we got tomorrow is Alabama and Wisconsin. College football, 10:30 right here on the Sports Animal. Saturday, of course, tomorrow, late afternoon over on News Radio KKOB. Lobos in Auburn starts at 4:30. JJ and Ned will have the pregame show. And then we got the NFL for you on Sunday. We've got the Vikings and Niners at 10:30 here on the Sports Animal. We've got the Bengals and the Chiefs at 2 o'clock. And then on Monday, we have the Falcons and the Eagles. If you're looking for the Raiders and Ravens, we'll have that over on the Pit KTBL. That's at 10:30. So we got it all for you. What we do for you is this little 3-for-all. JJ and I just go down the list and pick 3 games and show you how hard it is to pick games. Now, I had a good year last year, but we're off to a bad start. Both JJ and I went 1-2 last week. We started off with some college games. We're both 2-4 on the season. You want to go first? You want to mix up the juju a little bit?
Sure.
All right, what do you got?
My first one is Sunday Night Football. I'm taking Houston minus 6.5. The questions offensively, we love the Bears. Well, all of a sudden, Keenan Allen, Rome Odunze did not practice.
Good one
yesterday. Caleb Williams threw for 93 yards. I will take the Texans and a touchdown.
I didn't even see that one. That's a good one. My first one is I got all underdogs. There's some big spreads. I'm going to take the Saints plus 6.5 at home. I love home dogs. They're playing the Cowboys. Cowboys handle the Browns. We go back on the road. I'm going to take the Saints plus 6.5 against the Cowboys. My second one, and I just think this is such an underrated, underappreciated appreciated club that I think will score points, and it's a big over-under number 51.5. I'm going to take Tampa Bay at home getting 7.5. I like the Buccaneers against the Lions. You're giving me a touchdown plus.
I like both those plays. I do. But my second one is going to be Indianapolis -2. If it's the Malik Willis show for Green Bay, which is a possibility it could be, I think Indianapolis can feast on that. And it's the unknown because it could change. You could wake up Sunday morning and Jordan Love's a go. And then your bet's down the toilet. But I'll take the Colts -2.
Yeah, or maybe. All right, what's your third one?
Last one is I'm going to attack the Panthers.
The half at home against the Eagles. I mean, these are big home dogs, dude. I think they can score with the Eagles. I don't think they win, but I think they stay within the 6.5. So there we go. All right, 505-246-0610. We'll get off of, I know Edward's going to have his 5-star picks to make you rich. We're here to make you bet against us. That's how you get rich. Just go the other way. Edward, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Merry Friday the 13th.
Merry Friday the 13th. I've seen several posts where Halloween's also going to be on Friday the 13th.
Perfect.
In the infinite wisdom of people.
Perfect.
Hey, the 5-star picks are still coagulated and percolating. I let the season kind of unfold because it takes 3 or 4 games to kind of, see where the lay of the land is, where the water navigates. I think Dallas is in Atlanta this weekend. He's going to the Dodger games tonight.
Is that right?
The
Those will
Los
be
Angeles
fun.
Trolley Dodgers, formerly the Brooklyn Trolley Dodgers.
Yep.
But and then he's going to the UNM game tomorrow because one of his buddies, that his father went to the University of Auburn, so they're going to the Lobo game as well.
It's good living
That's
for
kinda
your
cool.
kid. Yeah, your kid's
Good
living.
living, man.
Yeah.
Hey, briefly, one of the harrowing things that the Lobo program is dealing with is when you've been played and they've been played, right? I'm not a content expert in all things Mountain West or this conference, but I know when an individual or organization's been played, typically work out. So, but it is a sad thing when you get played like that. And I don't know how it unfolded. I don't know who the key players were, but it is what it is at this point. So, hey, real quick on Tua. I really like the individual, and I think JJ nailed it. We're not content experts, right? Last night's hit seemed a bit benign, but the result of it was pretty impactful. Who knows, right? There's probably guys in there that have 20 concussions. So leave it up to the experts and the individuals making the decisions. And it's a bad look optically, but I don't know how this is going to land. But anyway, enjoy the weekend. Enjoy the.
Yeah, his kid's living a good life. Bunch of people I know were actually, hey, I'm going to Auburn. I'm like, damn, he's going to Auburn this weekend. They cover? Lobos cover? I think they do. Yeah. You're not as much there, huh? I liked what I saw offensively from them last 2 weeks ago. I really did. Now, I still am that guy who probably needs to see more weapons. And I know I asked the question of Bronco at the press conference this week, do you have enough offensive weapons? Playmakers really is kind of where I'm going. I want to see more. And look, this is a different cat you're playing, and it's an SEC team. And I don't know, man, I was impressed now defensively it scares the bleep out of me, right? I mean, they gave up 61 points. 61 points. Can they stop someone? The over's got to be the bet, doesn't it? And it's high. It's over 60. All right, we'll wrap it up. 505-246-0610. When we come back, you still have time to get in. 505-246-0610 is the Sports Animals phone line and our text line.
Play with me this weekend. I want to see your winners, your pick'em entries. Send them to me. Let's go. Football is upon us, and Underdog Fantasy is a way for you to get in the game. Making picks on Underdog is straightforward, and signing up is even easier. So head over to Underdog's simple-to-use mobile app or UnderdogFantasy.com. Sign up with the promo code JJBuck, and Underdog will give you a free pick to use on your first cash pick'em entry, plus up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you deposit. I want to see your pick'em entries because I'm starting mine this weekend with King Henry. Higher on 70.5 rush yards. Ravens and Raiders, we saw what that Chargers rushing attack did to the Raiders last weekend. That's where I'm starting my pick'em entry. A pick'em entry is 2 players from at least 2 different teams, and then you build. There you go, higher or lower on your favorite projected stat total. You can look at the entire weekend right now on Underdog Fantasy. We're talking everything, touchdowns, passing yards, and so much more when it comes to what you can do when putting your pick'em entry together. That's Underdog Fantasy. Promo code JJBuck to claim your new customer special of a free pick and your deposit offer. And Underdog has you covered. We're talking gimme picks, vulture protection, injury protection, and profit boost. You can add all those this weekend on Underdog Fantasy. Must be 18 and over and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
I'm David C. Chavis, personal injury attorney. Our law firm was founded by my father, Thibaut J. Chavis, with one goal: to get New Mexicans the help they need. That's why we built a different kind of law firm. We focus on family values, dedicated service, and we make a real contribution by giving back to our communities. We can't change what happened to you or your loved ones, but we can help you get back on the road to recovery. We're by your side, and we're still as local as red and green.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
for doing more. But people weren't designed for all that doing. Our bodies need to settle into nothing from time to time. Into nothing at all. In a world obsessed with doing more, we invite you to undo.
Next in line,
what you got to know as you go through your weekend. Look, the uncertainty around the Mountain West and the conferences. I don't know where we're going to sit when we sit here on Monday. I'm going to guess something's going to move a little bit. What does that mean? Does that mean somebody else will get invited to the Pac? Whatever, I don't know. Air Force, New Mexico, UNLV. I don't know. All I know is I got games to watch this weekend. Aggies are on ESPN tomorrow night, 8:30. Rematch of last year's Isleta New Mexico Bowl. New Mexico State at Fresno State. Aggies are like 20-point dogs in that game, which, again, another number that just feels really, really thick to me. Doesn't that feel thick to you, that the Aggies are 20-something point dogs? I mean, they've just played – they were 22-point underdogs last week at home against Liberty and damn near won that game. And I don't know how much better I think Fresno State is than Liberty.
That's a fair way to look at it, but you also can't overreact. Like,
okay,
the books are not like, oh my gosh, that defense was awesome. The offense was bad.
Their offense is bad, and he's talking about changing quarterbacks.
So that number doesn't shock me. It's
down to 19.5
at Fresno State.
Over-under is only 47.5. I love the over. Love the over. But that means the Aggies are going to have to score some points. Mountain West, good games this weekend. Lobos are at Auburn. Tonight, if you get ESPN, UNLV, Kansas. In Lawrence, UNLV is give me UNLV in 9.5 points. No?
I like it. They're playing well defensively. They're working the quarterback situation. To Jesus White playmakers on the outside.
I love it.
Statement opportunity for UNLV.
Nevada's at Minnesota. Utah State hosts Utah. San Jose State hosts Kennesaw State. Hawaii will be at Sam Houston State. Air Force is on the road at Baylor. Big one in Fort Collins, Colorado. Colorado State, they are talking so much mess. BYU will be in Laramie, and San Diego State goes to Cal. Late ESPN game. 505-246-0610. Howard, I knew you had to get in before the Friday ended. What's up?
Yeah, well, I just wanted to talk a little fantasy football because, like I told you guys, my first year in like about 7 years. So I come in, I think I put a pretty formidable team together, and I'm, tracking like everybody else does, watching their phone, watching their iPad, and I'm up big. Jared Allen's got, he's in the negative halfway, almost the first quarter complete.
Or Josh
and then
Allen?
The game went on. And Jared Allen exploded.
Jared.
And consequently, I lost by 14. This is the kicker, I talked to my wife. She plays fantasy football. She came in second in her league last year, third in her league the year before. So she's a pretty decent fantasy football player, I think, in my head. So I tell her, how'd you do this week? Well, I won my game. I said, you did? She said, yeah, I had this guy from Green Bay, this receiver, that scored me 33 points. He's Jay Reed. Who is he? And I'm like, you drafted him, didn't you? I said, oh, no, babe, I always auto-draft.
We don't know crap.
You know what? My coach is already on the hot seat, man. I tell you, he better start winning some games, or he's on the hot seat, he's out, and my 10-year-old grandson's taking the team over.
There you go.
You guys have a great weekend. Later.
Might be best anyway. That should be the name of all of our fantasy. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm serious.
We just do our best to get to a conclusion that we're comfortable with by 11 a.m. on Sunday.
Or Thursday, whatever. Yeah. All right, what do you got to know as you go through outside of that stuff? The Buffalo Bills, I mean, we haven't even really talked about what it means for the game. They handled the Dolphins 31-10. And this isn't, Tua was out. No, Tua was in most of the game, and they handled the Buffalo Bills. I mean, the Miami Dolphins. JJ, I don't want to overreact to a game 2 beatdown. With Tua at quarterback, the Bills are 8-1 against the Dolphins.
We're not overreacting. Miami can't beat Buffalo. And now the injury to Tua, they're a team that comeback win week 1 in the second half is huge for them because the next, at least, you don't know the timetable, but you have to be uncertain the next couple of games. that offense is going to look completely different, and they have to play a different brand of football.
Who do you think is going to be the quarterback? Whether it's Tyler Thompson or Ryan Tannehill, right?
It's not going to be Ryan Tannehill.
How?
Unless there's a long term injury.
Okay, so there's a 10-day. They got the mini bye by playing on Thursday.
If Tua is out, like 4+ games, we're talking IR, then you think about Ryan Tannehill.
Okay.
But you don't bring in Ryan Tannehill if Tua is only going to miss a game.
Because he would have been your backup anyway, right? I mean, wouldn't he have been?
And
don't you think Skylar Thompson's better if he was already on your roster?
Yeah. There's an element to that. I think Ryan Tannehill could be an option, but there's also a reason that he didn't jump to just be a backup somewhere.
Northern Alabama beat Northwestern State. You're like, what are we talking? Northern Alabama's in the Sun Belt. And they played Northwestern State. They played an FCS team yesterday. They beat them 87-10. 87-10. In fact, the two coaches got together and shortened the fourth quarter to just 6 minutes. And I told you earlier, it got New Mexico on SportsCenter. You're like, how? Van Pelt was talking about after the game how it was the most points an FBS team had put up since Fresno State put 94 in New Mexico back in 19 whatever it was. 87-10. I'm looking at just some of the numbers. And it's not like, when you look at the stats, it's not like they put up 1,000 yards. Quarterback for South Alabama only threw for 257 yards. They ran for 365. But they had short fields all night. And, I mean, dude, it was 24 in the first, 28 points in the second, 28 in the third. 87. And, you know, people say, well, they ran it up. I mean, you don't stop playing, do you? By the way, another Sun Belt team played really well last night. Texas State's nice. Arizona State went down there and beat them 31-20. That was a good game. Thank you to David Williams for being with us today. The interim athletic director at UNM was with us. You can listen to that over on our website, sportsanimалabq.com, or wherever you get your podcasts. Jim Rome Show is next. The Herd with Colin Cowherd is after that. 2 Men On's here at 4. Then you get Isotopes. We got football weekend for you. And we're back Monday morning with award-winning radio at 7 a.m. Adrian, great week. Looks great on the TV, except for the green guy up in the corner. I don't know what the deal is with the camera. Big weekend for you?
Huge weekend.
Enjoy it. Be good to each other, boys and girls. Remember, JJ and Ned pregame on Lobo football over on KKOB tomorrow at 4:30. Preceding the Lobos in Auburn. Be kind, loving, caring, and sharing. We will smell you on Monday.
No more mold. No more damage. No more outdated old...
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit HansWhitlerAuto.com.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.